We have West Jordan Mayor Kim Rolfe with us and the city manager Mark Palish, and we're talking about the potential of business coming into West Jordan, something that I know the governor's office on economic development is very excited about. We talked with Senator Kurt Bramble, who said basically we're just the legislature. We pave the way so local government could make these decisions. And certainly West Jordan has a huge role in this. The Jordan School District has a huge role in this. And Salt Lake County has a role in it as well. And that's kind of what started this conversation ball rolling, were concerns that were brought about from Mayor Ben McAdams. And in fairness to Mayor McAdams, he said, I'm looking for ways to like this. I'm looking for ways to get on board with this. But right now, I have some real concerns. And then he enumerated them. And we've already talked about some of the property tax issues. Sales tax issues, even Mayor McAdams said, I kind of get when they're buying servers and they're buying things like this, again, assuming that it is a business like Facebook, that they would be buying these things. I get some incentives. We've given incentives to a lot of different businesses. But he brought up the issue of water, and that has been something that seems to have stuck in the craw of many of our KSL listeners. A lot of them have said, why in the heck would a business need 5.3 million gallons of water a day? I joked yesterday, I've been around long enough now. When I was a kid, the big advertisement from Lagoon is the 1,000,000-gallon pool with water fit to drink.
Right.
So you go, holy cow, I'm thinking of that old pool, and 5.3 times more than that. That's a lot of water. What would that be used for, and is that accurate?
Well, I think it's a misnomer, and I think Mayor McAdams used the wrong number. With the 5.3, that was an older number. It started out at 4.8 million gallons per day, and we added the fire flow equation, and later on we found out that they had already added that. So we're back to the 4.8. But what that represents is a guarantee that the worst case scenario would happen. 6 buildings are fully occupied. It's the middle of the summer, the hottest day of the year, and there's a fire. So we have to have the fire flow. That unbelievable circumstance would then only happen maybe never. But we had to guarantee that it could happen. If Murphy's Law came about, we could do that. Their average daily would be just a small fraction of that. And during the wintertime, they would open louvers, and they indicated they would have almost no water usage.
Now, again, assuming this is a high-tech business with lots of servers, this would be used to cool. We actually had a listener yesterday, it kind of intrigued me, that if it happened to be a very hot day, it was the summertime, all of a sudden, sans the fire, they were pretty much maxing this stuff out, and it's evaporative cooling. Does this affect the climate, environment immediately around a plant like that in any way? And it kind of intrigued me. I have no clue.
I don't know if we're going to see a cloud around there or not.
That's right, it's raining on the neighborhood around it.
Yeah, I never really thought about that, but I don't think so. The one reason that we stand out over above even New Mexico is because of the winter time. We have some cold temperatures, and they won't have much of a water usage. What they do, they recycle a lot of that water, and they indicated that each building that they build in different states or different countries is better than the next one. And the difference between the last buildings, their water usages will be even half of that. So I don't think anyone needs to be concerned that we're going to be running out of water or anything. We just had to guarantee the worst case scenario, and that's what we've done.
Here's the other question associated with that, and I'll ask this of the mayor. Let's assume for a moment that we do have a high-tech industry that moves in with servers and so on. It's more of a data center, and we've already talked about, we're 70 to 100 jobs is basically accurate. Is that right? But we're consuming a lot of these resources. If other entities were to come in, and this property would accommodate maybe 2 more, something in the same similar vein?
Actually, we're the businesses that have come to the city because of this particular data center are not data centers. So I know that it was reported yesterday that the water usage
could be 15 million gallons a day.
And even though that is a far cry from what the actual usage is, the businesses that are coming behind because of this business aren't data centers and would be using none of the water the data center uses.
This is something, too, that has been alluded to here, and Mayor McAdams talked about this yesterday. I think he used the term multiplicity factor, that with only, as he put it, 70 to 100 jobs, and this isn't kind of the glamorous stuff, brick and mortar, wow, this is the fun side of Facebook or the fun side of eBay or the fun side of whatever. It's basically a warehouse, jammed full of servers. What will the multiplicity factor be, and are you getting people saying, wow, if those guys come, man, we're coming too?
We are. And actually, one of the businesses has over 300 employees that's looking to move to West Jordan as their location. And these are high-skilled and high-paying jobs.
Something else that came up yesterday was, what about public input? And Mayor McAdams indicated that he had heard that there was going to be a public meeting on the 10th of August that had been canceled. Will there be public meetings where people can chime in on this?
Well, we have between the city council and the county council and the school district, they're open meetings that we discuss these things. The only thing that we can't discuss is certain particulars that the company has asked us not to. So I think most people are aware of what we're doing, and the fact that we can make some money on the side will keep taxes down, and that's what the city's into, because most homes don't pay for the services they use until they're about $450,000. So we use sales tax, grants, and these kind of things to provide not only jobs but income to the city where we can keep the taxes at its lowest point.
Mayor, in the very limited time we have, only 30 seconds to a minute here, what do you want folks to know about this, and how close are you to a deal?
I think we're very close, Doug. What I'd like people to know that this is not going to impact their taxes. In fact, it'll impact keeping taxes lower. With a false report out there that taxes would go up and water would go up, those are not true. This is one of the things that West Jordans look forward to keep taxes lower. And this business would pay for the water that they use. It will not increase the water, and our engineers have worked hard to make sure that we are self-reliant in West Jordan.
Very, very quickly, you brought up water once again, and I forgot one thing. It was brought up by some of our listeners. I think Mayor McAdams may have mentioned it while we have Riverton wondering if they're going to be able to water their lawns, whether they're going to be able to use culinary water or the secondary non-potable water. With the concerns about water in the West, how many of these businesses can we absorb, and are you positive, and I'll ask this of the city manager, are we positive that this isn't going to cause water hardships? I'm not talking dollars and cents, but water hardships.
When we heard the numbers from Discus on how much water they might use, or the worst case scenario, we went to the Jordan Valley Water Conservancy District and said, can we deliver this kind of thing? And being on top of things as they usually are, they said, well, we recognize that you're building west, so we have projects to be able to get this already in place. There's one aspect of it we'll have to move up 1 year. He said, but that's no problem. So it covered it, and it was nice to hear that they were ready to do business.
I so appreciate both of you joining us, and I hope that when we can kind of fill in this blank,
we do not speak his name.
When we can speak the name, will you guys call me?
Absolutely.
All right. We'd like a little update on that. And Mayor Rolfe, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having us.
And
Doug.
City Manager Mark Palish, great to have you here. And thank you for entertaining the questions that have been floating out there.
Thanks, Doug.
We'll look forward to getting the at least to the point where we can talk maybe a little bit more about the entity itself. It is 9:59.